I'm on my prime, I'm feeling like Steph. I get my shot and I promise it's wet. Waited too long, but I told him I'm next. I need my bag, just run me the check. Cable was mine, I ain't taking less. I told them all I'm as real as it gets. Shit be a shit, dog, I'm cutting the net. I thought I told him I came for my spot.
What's good, I Stay Mad fam? Welcome back to I Stay Mad on Purpose. I'm your host, Mr. I Stay Mad, aka LeVar Green. Listen, we are promoting pretty much you tap into your life's assignment. That's everything we do. Everything we talk about is about you learning and seeing what God made you to do on this planet. So here's a question for today. What has to change for everything to change? What has to change for everything to change? And the best thing to change, or the best person to change, is you. And if you change how you think, if you change your beliefs, if you change just your gratitude and everything else, things change. So what has to happen for everything to change is we do. You do. We have to be willing to make the changes that are necessary to become who God made us to be. So here's a great question. How do we become that? How do we find that out? Well, check the hat out today. We don't make these. We get these from a company, Art of Homage. I don't make hats, so I definitely promote those and, you know, who I get my stuff from. But ask God. If you want to know what has to change in your life, if you actually want to know what you're on this planet to do, if you want to know what your life's assignment is, then it is in your best interest to ask God. So there are times that I show you what book I'm going through, which is this Myles Munroe, The Hidden You. I want you to check out this verse for the day, and this is kind of our talking point. Mark 10:27. Jesus looked at them and said, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible with God." Once again, kind of read a little words out of order. I'm going to read it again to you. Jesus looked at them and said, "With man, this is impossible, but not with God. All things are possible with God." Now, I love that, because what we've been talking about and what I've been realizing even more and more as God been taking me through my journey is that we have to realize how close we are to Him. God literally reminds us time and time again that He's inside of us. He lives in us. He abides in us. We should have the mind of Christ. Christ, not Jesus, and I'm not diminishing the name of Jesus, but Jesus, the Christ, was the fully God, the fully human aspect. Jesus was the human. Christ is not His last name. It's His divinity, right? And if we're supposed to have the mind of Christ, which is technically we're supposed to be trying to get to where we have the mind of the Spirit of the living God. So when we're down here, we know what to do. So here's the question again. What has to change for everything to change? You do. And that's how important this is. That's how important this journey is. And everything I can share with y'all. When my beliefs started shifting to believing properly and thinking properly, everything began to change for me. My experiences at the workplace, my family, like our experiences, our encounters, everything started changing. And it can happen for you too. It can happen for you too. Just make a decision. And what is the decision? The decision to look through life through the proper lens. And what lens is that? It has to be God's. It has to be His lens. Because He sees everything the right way, and we don't at times. We have our moments. But God sees everything the way it's supposed to be seen. And if we truly want to live this life the way that He says we can live this life, then it's truly in our best interest to do it His way. If you want your life to be everything that He destined it and designed it to be, we have to do it His way. Anything else will cause us to hit our head against the wall, to live in stagnation, to not move and not grow because we're not seeing things the right way. Like even troubled times, like the tough times, the things that cause strain on our life, the things that cause stress on our life. If we look at it the right way, then we can grow the right way as we go through these experiences. You know, I heard some of the folk I listen to say, don't just go through it, grow through it. And stop thinking that You have to do things in life, but you get to do these things in life. You get to go to work. You know, life is happening for you and not like against you. Like these things are, God is so intentional. The body works the way it works because of his intentionality, him thinking through all of what has to happen and what had to happen. Like, so since he has all the answers, and then he's saying nothing is impossible with him, and then he keeps saying he's inside of us, what does that mean to you? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. What does that mean to you if God is saying, I abide in you, you abide in me, I'm one with you, my kingdom is within you, like I'm in you, the essence of who God is in us, then what does that truly mean to you? And then what does that mean that you can do? What if you and I, what if we were very intentional about monitoring what we feed our faculties, our minds, our hearts, our eyes, and our ears? What if we were very intentional about what we feed ourselves, what we paid attention to? Like we spend money on things that we value and we like, and we go pay, do this exchange. But what if we were selective in what we paid attention to? What would change? What direction would your life now go? Who would be blessed by you becoming your best? Who would benefit from you becoming the person that God designed you to become? Your family, your friends, the people in your community. Like, think about it. How could your life truly be? How do you want your life to be? Can you still sit and imagine and dream about the life that you want? On purpose. Like everything I do and talk about is on purpose. I can't help it. I remember when things started going sideways in my mind and in life for me, and I look at it now as just getting in alignment. Although I wouldn't have selected the route for it to go that way, the lows especially. But when I started to realize that God is there and has always been there and has been guiding me, instructing me, even in his silence, I started looking at everything different. Our company was built off of me just being angry and frustrated. You know, our mission, I would say. Our company is Activate You, and we encourage every person active, stay active, live active in every aspect of life, every facet of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Like, y'all, let's do it in your business, in your company, like in your job, like in your family and relationships. And all that stems from you making a decision. I used to say this when I was training some young athletes. I can't do anything with you until I can get your mind. Until you have made a decision to say, I do want to be better and I want more. I couldn't do anything with them until they made a decision, until they made a decision to take the first step, until they made a decision to say, let me try it, until they made a decision to make a difference in their own lives, make a difference in their performance on and off the field. I couldn't do too much until they made a decision. And I feel like I have my moments where God allows some information to come on my head and I can motivate the mess out of somebody. I can get them amped and going, but past the motivation, what comes next, there has to be a level of discipline. Past the determination, there has to be a level of being consistent. There has to be patterns that now are created, habits, good ones that are created, and old ones destroyed. Nothing is impossible with God. All things are possible. And if he truly lives in us, then that means nothing is impossible in your life. Let's check out what this book is saying real quick. Let's see something. This is my daily read for today. Mark chapter 11 is all about if you believe what you desire hard enough, God says it will be done. God gives us little glimpses into our potential. It's as though God looks at the ideas he stored in us and says with a voice of disappointment, if you only knew what you can do. That's the attitude of God toward you and me. God is totally disappointed in us because he knows what we can do, but we don't. And he says to us, All things are possible if you just believe. I love how the book says it. All things are possible if you just believe, dummy. I don't want to call us a dummy. But how dumb is it to not reach your full potential when God is saying you can? When the Creator who created the created ones in all creation says, you can. You can. He's always knocking the limits off of our lives. Hope you hear my voice. I'm getting choked up some. Because it's speaking to me too. Too often we're not willing to believe like God defines belief. God does not say everything is possible if you get the idea. Things don't become reality because we have an idea. We have to believe in the idea and commit ourselves to it. Abandoning ourselves to it, even if it costs our lives. That's what it takes to believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, to lose our lives, to abandon ourselves. We must say, I'm going to get to eternity believing in Jesus. I'm not sure what's out there, but I'm going on the ride, and I'm going to ride on that name and that atonement. God isn't impressed by your dreams. It's easier to dream an idea than to work it out. Thinking it's great, but all these things are possible when we believe. Jesus says in Mark 11:24, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. God's work in creation began with a plan. God conceived in his mind what he wanted before speaking his creations into visible form. By the time God was ready to speak, it was just a matter of taking what was in the plan and putting it on the site. Here's the last part. Everything is possible if you abandon yourself to an idea for which you are willing to lose your life. One more time. Everything is possible if you abandon yourself to an idea for which you are willing to lose your life. How bad do you want the life that you say you want? Have you written down goals? Have you been intentional daily? Have you put things aside that is doing nothing for your future and your family? Have you stopped binge watching stuff that has no business being watched, that has nothing to do with your future? And I'm not saying you cannot have downtime and relaxation. But what I'm saying is if you have too much of that and not of this, what's this? The thing that you say you want. The life that you say you want. The goals and dreams and aspirations, don't let them die. But it's time to be intentional. It's time to make a decision. It's time to make a decision to make a difference in your life and watch everybody else around you benefit from you becoming the real, authentic you that God made you to be. In this life, we have plenty of choices to make. The ability to choose to follow God, to choose to believe in He exists. We can choose. And our choices, pretty much our lives, are the sum of all of our choices and all of our decisions. Choose right. Choose God. Choose Christ. Because He's faithful. And He loves you. And He wants what's best for you. And all things are possible through Him. And He lives in you. And He wants you to believe that. So today's call to action is write down. Now, if you literally believe that God lives in you, what you're going to try to do now. Being that He's the answer to everything and all things are possible and now He lives in you, what are you going to try to do now to make your life become the one that you've dreamed of before? And if you haven't dreamed about your life before, start doing it. If you haven't sat still and thought about what you really want to do, start doing it. Be intentional. Be on purpose. When you wake up in the morning, thank God for another beautiful, amazing day. Although we don't know what the day has to come, but thank God for it anyway. And no matter what comes, give thanks. Trust God. And make a decision. Decide today who you serve. Decide today who you give your life to, which is Jesus Christ. And decide today that you will believe the right way. And that your life changes from this moment forward.
I'm on my prime, I'm feeling like Steph. I get my shot and I promise it's wet. Waited too long, but I told him I'm next. I need my bag, just want me to check. Cable was mine, I ain't taking less. I told them all I'm as real as it gets. Shit be a shit, dog, I'm cutting the net. I thought I told him I came for my spot.